I went to Busch Gardens Williamsburg last week, and I thought it was really freaking good. And so today I'm going to give you an honest review. I'm going to tell you the things I like about the park, things I don't like, and let's get right into it. So the park is themed to Europe, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like a mini Europa Park. Obviously, it's not really fair to compare Busch Gardens Williamsburg to Europa Park, but I think that they do a terrific job of theming, and it made me so much more excited for when I do eventually get to visit Europa Park. On top of the great theming, you also have shade, because it's a pretty secluded park, so there's a lot of trees and provides much shade, which I really liked this aspect of the park because, I'm a Florida resident, so I mainly visit the Florida parks, and my goodness, you will burn alive in the Florida sun. Now I'm going to talk about the entry experience. First of all, you're going to have to wait in a line to pay to park. When I went, it wasn't that crowded, so we didn't wait that long, but I can imagine on busier days that you would have to wait a bit to park the car. Parking's like $39. So, not the best. There's a long walk leading up to the entrance, and then you get in, and then you enter your first land, England, which, pretty good land. Can't emphasize how important a good entry land is to set the tone for your day, and this land definitely sets the tone for your day. Anyways, so the lands here include Italy, Germany, France, Scotland, and Ireland. And we're going to start off talking about Italy, because that's the way I went. And the first ride you see in Italy is Escape from Pompeii, and this ride is freaking beautiful. I love how the plaza looks. I've seen a POV online, looks like a fun ride. I did not ride it though, because I hate wet socks. You keep walking, you eventually reach Fiesta Italia, which that is where you got Apollos Chariot, Tempesto, and Pantheon, a couple flat rides too. And let me just say this, the music in that section is friggin' gnarly, bro. I mean, that's the background music of this video. But yeah, Apollos Chariot, legit night ride. Also, B&M Hypers are always awesome, except for Nitro. That one sucks. Just kidding. I'd never slander a B&M Hyper like that. Although Nitro is my least favorite. But yeah, Apollos Chariot, great ride. Pantheon, best ride in the park. Intamin does amazing work. The backwards airtime is legit. It catches you by surprise first couple times riding. And yeah, it's just a fun ride. I don't know why people slander it so much, because I thought it was better than Pantherian, in my opinion. I know I'm making everyone mad. Don't worry, I like Pantherian. I just thought Pantheon's better. Unfortunately, Fiesta Italia does dead end, so, you gotta walk around. And then you enter Da Vinci's Garden, which on paper should be one of the best parts of the park. I mean, the gardens are beautiful and everything. It's just, it feels like it's lacking something, because it is. They got rid of 2 rides, and now the area is just more of a place you walk through than a place you spend time in. But yeah, keep walking, you enter the village of San Marco. You got some nice themed Italian buildings. You got the Marco Polo Marketplace. I did not eat there, I just thought you should know that that's there. And you also have the Sounds of San Marco, which is essentially like a little theater that you can watch live music at. I didn't watch live music because I was riding roller coasters, but yeah, it's there for you if you want it. You cross a bridge over the Rhine River, you're in Germany. More specifically, the Oktoberfest part of Germany. That's where you got Verbolten and Big Bad Wolf and Dark Coaster. Dark Coaster was unfortunately closed for me, so, obviously I'm not going to review it. But let me start off with Big Bad Wolf. Great family coaster. Genuinely better than it looks. Theming is great. Onboard audio was broke for me though, and I'm kind of salty about that. It's very secluded back there. I wish I got a night ride in. I would have got a night ride, but, I was too busy riding Apollos Chariot at night. Verbolten's also a cool ride. It has a really nice entrance, and I dig the theme. And yeah, that's the Oktoberfest section of the park. Pretty good section of the park. I wish I got to see it at night. Now we enter the Rheinfeld section of Germany. And this section's kind of odd just because if you keep walking straight, the land just ends. You just hit the Rhine River and the shortcut to Scotland, which, I mean, you should go down there. But if you're trying to continue through Germany, it's kind of hidden. You have to turn left by the fountain. There's some restrooms over there. And that's where you'll find Alpengeist, which I was incredibly disappointed by. It's kind of jerky and not the biggest fan of headbanging, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, you keep walking, you enter New France, which is themed to Canada. What the frick does Canada have to do with Europe? Nah, but this section is nice though. You got the log flume, which is elevated, so it's cool. And you got Invadr, which is a very good ride. I wish I got to ride it more. I only rode it once. Keep walking, you hit real France, and I love this land. The French village they made, so beautiful. And you got Griffon. Griffon, great ride. I love B&M dive coasters. They're always fun. Then, keep walking. You're gonna go through just a wooded area. Then you're gonna hit Ireland. And I like this land. I didn't spend that much time in it though, because the only ride there is Finnegan's Flyers, which I wish I got to ride, but I was too busy riding coasters, so I skipped it. And then finally you ended out with Scotland, which really not much there. It's just the Loch Ness Monster. And I'm incredibly disappointed by this land because when I was in it, I didn't hear that many bagpipes. But yeah, that's your virtual walkthrough of Busch Gardens Williamsburg. I covered every land except for Sesame Street and Land of the Dragons. I didn't go in those lands because I'm an adult without children. And I could have credit hunted and rode Grover's Alpine Express, but I was too ashamed to go in there. But yeah, I talked about all the good in this park. Now I'm going to talk about some of the things that irk me. So I find it really annoying that it costs $100 for 2 people to eat food. I get we're in a theme park and everything's expensive, but for 2 people to eat lunch, that's crazy. And I really hope that Busch Gardens can lower their prices because that's highway robbery, man. Also, if you want to know where I ate at Trapper's Smokehouse by Griffon. But now I'm going to talk about Quick Queue. So I'm from Florida, like I mentioned before. So I bought Quick Queue just because I don't know when I'm going to be back in Virginia. I just wanted to make sure I could ride all the rides. And thankfully we didn't really need it because it was dead. But why can't I pick my row on Quick Queue? Why am I being assigned in the middle for Quick Queue? If we're paying all this money for Quick Queue, I should be able to still wait for the front and back row. I can do that at King's Dominion. Why can't I do it here? And I just feel like that's not good that you're having people pay all this money for Quick Queue and they can't even pick their own row. Now that I talked about the not so awesome parts about Busch Gardens Williamsburg, I'm gonna tell you when you should go. August. That's the best time to go. Back when Virginia's schools are in session, that seems like a good time to go. That's when I visited, completely dead, was able to walk on everything. And that's really good for a park like Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which I believe is the 20th most attended park in the United States. So yeah, it does get pretty slammed. So I definitely suggest going in August. In conclusion, Busch Gardens Williamsburg is great. I prefer it to Tampa. Some of the things I didn't mention is they do have a lot of shows from what I hear. I didn't check them out because once again I was riding coasters. But yeah, Busch Gardens Williamsburg is great and I can't wait to go back. I loved it there. I prefer it over King's Dominion. So yeah, if you're in Virginia, 100% go to Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Just be prepared about being nickel and dimed. You're going to spend some money there. But it is a great experience, and I highly recommend it.